So have you found yourself trapped in indecision? So bouncing between two options, feeling stuck in your head. Now, if you're nodding along and you know what this is like, honestly, I get it, because this is something that I've personally been stuck with myself. This is a personal struggle of my own. And also as a therapist, I see other people who have the same issues as well, stuck in indecision. And it is so frustrating, isn't it? It's so frustrating, it's so draining, it steals your time, your energy, you're just stuck in overthinking, and you don't make the progress that you want to make in the areas that matter most in your life. Now, we've all got that one pattern of thinking or limiting belief that holds us back. And this is mine. This is my personal struggle. This is it for me. My inability to choose, not all the time obviously, it's not like it's constantly an issue, but my inability to choose, it always seems like I'm wrestling with a decision. So whether choosing to be a counsellor or be a coach or to run a membership or to run a course. And these, obviously, it seems like, oh, big wow, you know, first world problems, big deal. But it does keep me stuck, and it does lead to frustration, and it leads to a lack of progress, and it just holds me back. It's held me back in life. And I know where it comes from, because my dad was the ultimate person in terms of not making a decision. He went backwards and forwards to Australia 3 times four times in fact, 4 times. And there was always an indecision, always a decision going on. And I believe that that's where this stems from for me, this pattern of struggling to choose. Now, I'm naturally a high options, high energy person, and I can make decisions in other areas of my life. It's not like I'm stuck. So for instance, I could literally go into a shop and buy a pair of shoes in 5 minutes. I literally pride myself on being able to do that. I will head to Shoe Zone and I will literally grab a pair of size 7 shoes or boots and be like, that's it, I'm done. But when it comes to making a decision, a choice, it just feels so all-consuming. It feels like I've got to get it right. And I suppose that's where the problem, and I get stuck in my head with the overthinking. Should I do this or should I do that? What should I do? And when I'm in that what should I do, I'm not doing anything because I'm stuck. So I'm not even making progress. I'm not taking action. There's no momentum being created. In fact, and then what happens is I change my mind as well. I'll start down a path. I'll go so far with it, and then I'll change my mind, and I'll go to start something different. And it's frustrating because it's not through lack of ability, and it's frustrating when you don't make the progress that you could be, and you don't make the money that you could be as well. So I don't know if this relates to you in any way at all. So, but the truth is, and this is what I really am starting to realise, is there's no such thing as a perfect choice. Every decision leads to a new experience, to learning, to growth, no matter what the decision is really. So whether I'd have chosen counselling or coaching, whether I'd have chosen the course or the membership, and actually, often that indecision is coming from a deeper place of fear. So I think for me, it's coming from a worry that I'm not going to get it right, that I'm going to miss out on something. But it could be judgment as well. So there's a fear there, and that's fear. But whilst we're stuck in it, we're missing out on so much in terms of experience and enjoying life, aren't we? So I think a really good way of managing this is to reframe it. So how do we break free from this overthinking and indecision? So here are some strategies that I think are quite helpful. So I want us to think about shifting from right versus wrong to instead experimentation. Yeah. So I was just talking to Andy Williams, my supervisor, and about this the other day, telling him about this issue. And he was saying about experimentation really is a better way of looking at it. You know, I'm working, not, does a decision have to be so binary? Does it have to be right or wrong? Does it have to be so set in stone? And if I view it more as like experimentation, then surely being curious about it, then I won't feel so stuck. There won't be no such thing as failure really, it's more learning. And that takes the pressure off, doesn't it? It allows me to take action and to gain valuable experience and insight. So a nice reframe of this is that there's no right or wrong choice, just options that will help me learn more about what I truly want and need. So another thing that we can do is focus on what we can control. Because I think indecision, it often stems from worrying about the factors that we can't control, the uncertainty. So instead, focusing on what we can control and approach your attitude to taking actions, the actions that you can take, and let go of trying to control every outcome. Because the truth is we can't, and that is okay. So the reframe with this is, I can control how I approach this, but I can't control every outcome. So I'll focus on what's within my power and I'll let go of the rest. Now, this is a biggie, is this. Taking action, any action. Because this is where we get stuck, is we then dig ourselves into a deeper hole because we're not taking any action. It's all going on in our head. We're trying to figure it out in our head. And that just creates more struggle, tension, stuckness, trying to figure out the perfect next step instead of getting the ball rolling. You know, it's like there's no momentum then, is it? We need the momentum, we need the movement, we need the action. We can't stay stuck. Getting stuck in our head is what did my step therapist say the other day? Getting stuck in your head is death or something. He's from Croatia or somewhere like that, but you are literally dead when you get stuck in your head, in a sense, aren't you? There's no way of getting out of that often. So you won't figure out solutions stuck in your head. So another way around this is to limit the time that we spend on the decision. You know, we don't need to spend days and days and weeks and months on a decision. We don't need to do that. We literally could probably spend 10 minutes on it and that would be good enough, or no longer than a day. Being in that place of indecision is just the worst, honestly. It's just like you've got one foot, imagine like two rowing boats next to each other. You've got one foot in one rowing boat, the other in the other, trying to stand up, and it's like, oh my God, how can you? It's like sitting on the fence gives you, it gives you, what's the word I'm looking for? Anyway, you know what I mean. You're going to get a sore ass, basically. So alternative ways of thinking, I think, are really helpful with this for us to break free from the indecision, because it requires a shift in our perspective. So I think it's really helpful to think about both choices could be good. Who says there's only one right choice? Often there's not. It's about what we make of it, what we do. And actually, sometimes the universe has a funny old way, doesn't it, of just, it's not linear, and it will maybe take us in different directions that we never imagined, but actually work out and maybe get us to the same place we wanted to anyway. Just like me as a counsellor now. I resisted being a counsellor for so long. Honestly, I really did, which is hilarious, because now I'm a student counsellor. And I resisted it for many years, and here I am. And I'm glad that I'm doing this work. I'm glad I've learned so much from it. So the universe had other plans for me. And that's because I was so caught up in wanting to be a coach, you see. So there's not always just one right choice. There really isn't. Okay? And we have to find this out by trial and error and experimentation. And it's okay. We don't have to have everything figured out, do we? So my new way of thinking might be, I don't need to know everything right now. I'll trust that each step will bring more clarity. So I think part of this actually is maybe perfectionism as well, you know. There's a part of perfectionism, part of fear when I think about it. And the belief that if you don't make that right, that perfect decision, everything's going to fail and the whole world is going to fall apart and everything's going to be ruined. But the truth is that no decision is perfect. Just no decision is perfect. So what if I allow myself to make imperfect decisions and trust that they will lead me where I need to go? That sounds good, doesn't it? That sounds really, really good, to break this cycle of overthinking. So if you're struggling with this, I know what it's like. I've been there, I know what it's like. I'm hoping that, I'm not saying that I've got all the answers and that I've got it all figured out now, because I haven't. I really haven't. I really wish I did have it all figured out, because I would be making a lot more progress probably than I do. But I do think that what I've talked about here today is really, really helpful with this. And I'll share some journal prompts as well in the notes, because I think journaling on this can be really, really useful. But what I would say is that we don't need to get stuck in our heads. And when we do get stuck in our heads, nothing good can come from that. We need to get out of our heads, start taking action, because action creates clarity, it creates movement, it creates momentum. Just take the next step. You don't have to see the whole pathway in front of you. You don't need to. It's like a car driving at night. It just needs its headlights on. It only needs to see, I don't know, how far ahead, 50 yards ahead. It doesn't need to see the whole journey. It'll get there just by seeing the next step, the next step, the next step. So I hope this video has been useful for you. And I'm literally sat on my son's little, it's not even a stool, it's like one of those, you know, those boxes where you put toys in or something like that. I'm sat on that, and hopefully the light's okay, because it's winter now. It's winter, but we've had a sunny day today. Anyway, I hope that this has been super helpful. And if you want to know more about me and the work that I do as a therapist, go to kayholdsworth.com. I've got free resources over there. I do like a 21-day writing for self-discovery challenge. So yeah, have a check out my website, and if you want to work with me, you can book in a discovery call as well. So I work with women particularly, although I do work with men too, who are feeling stuck, who are maybe struggling with direction, who want to make some changes in their life and don't know where to start. So head over to kayholdsworth.com, and wishing you a really lovely day.